You have exactly 3 seconds to like and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, I'll appear in your dreams tonight. To ask for a donation for that cup of coffee, link below.
Imagine traveling from Hanoi to Viet in just 2 hours instead of 6. Of 100 km. From Hanoi to Saigon in only 5 hours, without needing a plane. The dream of having breakfast in Hanoi, sipping Thai coffee in Da Nang, and enjoying lunch in Saigon could become a reality. That's scenario when the North-South High-Speed Railway is This project been planned for a long time, but it remained on paper for nearly 20 years. However, a strong signal was sent in October 2024 when the central government agreed on the investment plan for the high-speed railway on the north-south axis, identifying it as a political task, prioritizing resources. It's an unprecedented project, yet a shared dream of the Vietnamese people. If we don't do it now, we will be committing a crime against future generations. But the plan to build the entire North-South High-Speed Railway approved, with a total capital of over 67 billion USD. This railway line will start from Ngo Hoi Station in Hanoi, pass through 20 provinces and cities, and end at Thu Thiem Station in Ho Chi Minh City. The design speed of the railway is 350 km, with a length of approximately 1541, double to the 1435 km, and a structure consisting of 60 minutes of bridges, 10 minutes of tunnels, and 30 minutes of ground. The entire line will have 23 passenger stations with an average distance of 67 km and 5 freight stations connected to freight hubs according to the planned route. The project is expected to start construction at the end of 20 to be completed in 2035. At the beginning of the railways, quick became an important mode of transport, alongside waterways in many countries around the world. They were considered the backbone of the economy, and it is no coincidence that after invading Vietnam, France focused on building the North-South Railway line to exploit Vietnam's land resources. Vietnam has a long, narrow shape stretching from north to south, wide at ends and narrow in the middle, with limited land resources. This created favorable conditions for the development of a mode of transport capable of carrying large volumes of goods and occupying minimal land resources, such as railways. By the 1980s, Vietnam's railway industry experienced rapid growth. At that time, railways accounted for 32% of passenger transport volume and nearly 21% of freight transport volume. However, that golden age has faded into the past. The current unified railway system, spanning, is now outdated and degraded, making it uncompetitive with air, road, and water transport. Railway transport has gradually lost its leading position. In the more than 30 years from 1999 to 22, railway transport volume only increased 5 times, while road transport increased 50 times and sea transport. Therefore, domestic freight transport remains primarily dependent on provincial roads. As of September 2024, road transport still accounts for a significant share of freight transport. Vietnam holds market share, while rail transport accounts for only 0. Furthermore, road transport is the most expensive mode of transportation after air transport, making costs significantly higher. In 2023, this cost in Vietnam was 16 GP, 6 times higher than the world average, with transportation costs accounting for 60% of the logistics value chain, almost double that of other countries. This drives up product prices, challenging the competitiveness of goods and, more broadly, the competitiveness of the economy. International analysis suggests this is due to a lack of effective measures. In the coming years, transportation costs are expected to continue rising sharply as carbon taxes are widely implemented. Also known as emissions taxes, are based on the principle of polluter pays. Over 40 countries had already implemented carbon taxes, with fossil fuels such as crude oil, coal, and natural gas being the primary targets. as soon as carbon taxes are widely implemented, the cost of goods is likely to increase many times over. We all know that gasoline and diesel are essential fuels for operating transportation, but currently, no alternative fuels have been found, especially for airplanes and ships, on electricity. But this still doesn't meet the needs for long-distance travel. Therefore, carbon taxes will become a major burden for the entire global transportation industry. Is no except, according to calculations, by 2030, the carbon tax rate could reach, and it could reach 100. Transportation companies will be forced to pass these costs on to consumers, from a bag of fabric or a bag of rice to an airplane ticket. Everything could be subject to this tax. For a country that relies mainly on exports like Vietnam, excessively high logistics costs will significantly impact the development of the entire economy in the near. Besides the increased transport of goods, that for passenger travel on the north-south route is also growing rapidly, according to the Ministry of Transport's forecast. By 2030, the demand for travel on this route will be approximately 14 million passengers per year, making it very difficult to meet the travel needs of residents and tourists. At the same time, there is a serious imbalance between modes of transport. By 2024, road transport will account 30 and rail transport. And this is trending downwards. Air travel. Passenger buses are always overloaded, while current railway revenue is insufficient to cover operating costs. This presents a difficult problem for Vietnam's transport industry. It is time to find a new mode of transport that meets all the criteria of modernity: speed, large transport capacity, and environmental friendliness. Electrified rail is the answer, with its superior features. The north-south high-speed rail is expected to create a turning point for Vietnam's economic development. Firstly, this will be the race against time between Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City is a race against time. These two major economic hubs, each contributing GDP, are 1,500 hubs connected. These two areas with a high-speed transportation system is essential. To travel from Hanoi to Ho Chi Minh, you have two options: either take a bus or taking 30 to 40 hours, or fly, taking only 2 hours a day. Speed of 350. High-speed rail reduces travel time to just 5 hours and 30 minutes compared to traditional rail and car travel. 5 hours and 30 minutes might not seem appealing, but we've overlooked a crucial factor: 2 hours is only the flight time. You also need to factor in travel time to the airport, check-in procedures, and the common problem of delays in Vietnamese aviation. In total, even the fastest flight from Hanoi to Ho Chi Minh City takes at least 4 hours, up to 5 hours. Significant advantage. But that's not all. Consider routes under Techcombank, for example, Hanoi, which is over 300 km away. At this distance, flying seems like a luxury and unnecessary. The most popular option currently is a bus. Take it. However, with high-speed rail, it would only take 1 hour and 20 minutes. Not to mention, not every province has an airport. For instance, if you're in Ninh Binh and want to go to Ho Chi Minh City, flying would require you to fly to Noi Bai Airport, and then it would take at least 4 hours to reach Ho Chi Minh City. With a direct high-speed train connection, you only need to board the train from Ninh Binh and disembark in Ho Chi Minh City. The travel time would be significantly shortened. A high-speed train can carry 500, 1,400 passengers per trip, 2 to 3 times more than air travel. Furthermore, rail travel is much safer at higher altitudes than road travel, offering numerous advantages. You can absolutely choose to live in Trang but work in Ho Chi, or work in Hanoi but live in neighboring provinces like Nam Dinh and Ninh Binh. This will have some limitations due to migration waves and the pressure on population in major cities, especially Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City, which concentrate 85% of Vietnam's population, will be relieved. Secondly, the North-South High-Speed Railway will open up many opportunities for the tourism industry. It is expected that this line will pass through 20 provinces and cities from north to south with 23 stations, evenly distributed across the provinces. It will easily connect tourist destinations along the length of the country. Allied tourism industry to develop diverse. Combined, tourists will have more choices worldwide. Places with high-speed railways have seen a boom in tourism with many opportunities to attract investment. For example, the 218 Quev high-speed train line connecting Chengdu with Songpan, Sichuan province, China, has been operational since the end of. Travel costs to Jiuzhaigu have been halved compared to air travel. And the journey time is also shorter than by bus. Additional tourist services such as luggage transportation and culinary experiences on the train have been fully exploited. In just 1 month, Jiuzhaigu welcomed over 600,000 tourists, a 25% increase compared to the same period in 23. Thirdly, the North-South High-Speed Railway will act as a magnet attracting investment to the areas it passes through. Areas with high population density and traffic will have opportunities for economic development. The 23 railway stations will welcome thousands of passengers daily. Each railway station area could become a service complex, such as a shopping center, trading center, office, tourist accommodation. Ideal condition for developing new residential areas and urban centers. Japan's Sheng system has taken full advantage of this characteristic. Large cities like Tokyo, Shin, Osaka, and Nagoya have all been developed into vibrant commercial centers. Tokyo, with 400 her daily, the vast Yisu Chikai underground shopping mall, 150 shop, numerous restaurants and cafes, has resulted in both increased revenue and sustainable economic development for surrounding areas. In just Nagoya's population increased too, and tax revenue increased. In Southeast Asia, Indonesia was the first country to have a high-speed rail line. The government announced that from construction to operation contributed approximately 3 billion to the economies of the localities it passed through. Therefore, it is almost certain that expanding the economic space along the North-South corridor will not be a distant prospect for Viet Nam. The high-speed rail provides an ideal condition for urban restructuring and reduces pressure on Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City. Fourthly, this will contribute to creating thousands of jobs. According to calculations by the Institute for Transport Strategy and Development, the North-South High-Speed Railway project, during its construction phase, is expected to require approximately 50 workers. Upon completion, the line will need around 13 for operation and maintenance. According to experts, each train has approximately 200,000 components, and the equipment demand for the high-speed railway could reach 34 billion VND. Vietnamese businesses are basically capable of synchronizing 50 to 60% of the mechanical components for locomotives and railway signaling. The high-speed railway project will be an opportunity to boost the development of the mechanical engineering industry, which is considered the backbone of Vietnam's economy. Finally, the North-South High-Speed Railway will play a crucial role in national defense and security. Current railway is limited in gauge and has slow transport times. Therefore, transporting heavy equipment, such as artillery, tanks, and armored vehicles for national defense, will face many difficulties in emergency situations. Air transport has the advantage of faster delivery times but cannot transport large weights. The high-speed railway project will meet both criteria with the benefits mentioned above. The North-South High-Speed Railway project has become a pressing issue, but many still doubt its feasibility. The high-speed railway project was planned in 20. At that, the biggest obstacle was the investment cap. In 2010, Vietnam's GDP was only 9 VND, equivalent to 6 billion USD at the exchange rate then. Total financial assets and about Vietnam's total public debt, according to the World Bank, had reached USD, accounting for 56% of PM. That the North-South High-Speed Railway project was planned with a total capital of about 7, accounting for half of. Therefore, May suggested that the economic efficiency of this project was too low, the capital was too large, and it would create a debt burden for future generations. The priority of the economy at that time, resources had to be allocated to industry and agriculture. So, what about the present time? In 2020, GDP was approximately 4 to 50 billion, and the total financial assets of commercial banks, insurance companies, investment funds, and securities companies amounted to over 600 billion to build railway line. 34 billion is needed over 10 years, equivalent to Vietnam needing to arrange about 6 billion annually for this project, accounting for 1p3 the countries. At the same time, Vietnam's current public debt is only around 2 GDP, while the official public debt ceiling. Therefore, public debt, not a major concern at the present. At least it will not become a burden for future generations. However, this is only an analysis under ideal, where the project is completed on schedule and without cost overruns. The story of the elevated railway in Hadong is a typical example. After 10 years of delay, this long-distance railway line, this 5 km section was initially completed, with a total investment of 552 million, but upon completion, this figure increased to 8. This delay not only resulted in wasted resources and poor investment efficiency, but also caused public frustration and loss of trust. This is not unique to the Catlin Hadong elevated railway project. Capital shifts and delays remain common problems for public investment projects. Another thorny issue that raises doubts is the high-speed railway project's ability to recoup its investment. According to calculations by the Ministry of Transport, in the first 4 years of operation, revenue will only cover operating and maintenance costs. The projected payback period is 61 years under normal condition. However, this is only the payback period for items invested in by not the entire project. The difficult question now is the initial construction costs and operating and maintenance costs are too high, which could lead to the project consistently operating. Meanwhile, the projected high-speed rail fares are not attractive enough. Viet Nam, looking at the price list, on the Hanoi Ho Chi Minh City route, a 5-star journey would cost at least 1.7, equivalent to an airplane ticket. At this price, many people are no longer enthusiastic about high speed. The passenger occupancy rate on each train may not meet expect, and actual revenue may fall short of whether the north-south high-speed rail can fulfill its mission of making long-distance travel more affordable in a short time remains a question that needs answering. The dream of having breakfast in Hanoi or lunch in Saigon will be a long journey with many challenges. But the past has shown that Vietnam has overcome challenges many times with determination and unity, as seen in the successful construction of the 500 kV north-south power transmission line in just 2. This project will certainly not be an exception. This rail is the railway to prepare for the musical era of ham musical.